All right, we're live. We'll wait for the viewers to come in. All right.
I'm stupid.
Damn you, Stixie.
I'm stupid.
So wait, do you prefer us to call you Stixie or Sticks?
Whatever you want.
We'll call you.
People call me if you get Sticks is what people call me in the streets. So you can call me that if you want.
Okay.
We'll see if any
talk.
Maybe I'll get some street cred.
That's why I got it tattooed on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll wait for some viewers to come in here. There's usually viewers. We have fans.
Nice.
We promise. We promise. We actually have people that watch
We
us
actually
now.
have people. So, hello, Sticks.
How you doing?
So everyone, this is Stixie617 on TikTok. For a little bit of background information, Stixie is a comedian who's very big on TikTok, over 650K followers, over I think 17K followers on Instagram. I didn't check his YouTube subscriber numbers, so I can't give you any. 10K, not bad.
Okay.
No, nothing impressive.
Yeah.
I don't post them yet. I barely do anymore.
But anyways, he is a comedian. He's also an outspoken advocate for the ACAB and Black Lives Matter movement, and he is an advocate for sexual assault survivors, because he is one. So, without further ado, let's get this underway. So, Sticks, Sticks, just really quick, is there a reason you do the 617 on your username?
Yeah, it's I'll give you the story behind my name and stuff. So the 617's the area code for my city, Boston. And Sticks was a nickname I got. It kind of came up in the streets and everything. So I just kind of made the whole nickname, and it was kind of weird, but it's kind of catchy, so I stuck with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Is there any reason you got the nickname?
Oh, it's because I'm skinny as hell. I got a birth disorder. And
okay.
I was working at a plumbing company, and I was able to stick my arm through like 3 angles in a pipe to pull it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they said, we'll call him Sticks.
Seems like a fair nickname.
I mean, I think there's probably worse nicknames you could get.
Yeah, you could get shithead as a nickname.
Like
one guy used to call me Chum Chum.
The people at my work, they call me Smurf because I'm short. So they call me Smurf, short for Smurf, because they think I'm a Smurf.
Blue Lives Matter, baby.
Yeah, there we go. Only my blue life matters.
Now we're coming to an agreement.
Why I back the blue and you just put Papa Smurf as the background.
Yeah, get Lance on here. Now we're coming to an
agreement. Oh yeah. So what was like your first like viral TikTok that you can like remember?
Man, you know what? Like, so here's the thing, right? I'm from like 2018 TikTok.
Okay.
So it's like, it was so different back then than the way it is now. You don't just like go on there and get like a viral video and then you have a career. It's like, there were many videos that got like more and more viral the more that I did it. But I think the first, a lot of it was like, my whole shtick was like, I just take out my fake eye and just like chuck it at people. In duets, people would say like, "Show me something cool," and I just take out my eye and chuck it and stare at the camera.
That's a great video idea.
That's a good thing to have. Bring it back. We'll at least like and comment on it.
We would definitely like and comment on. Maybe even duet it.
Yeah, maybe.
So how did you get your start on social media as a whole? Was it TikTok originally, or was there a platform before?
Yeah, I was trying to be famous on Instagram because I wanted to be famous for being a criminal. So I had like maybe like 800 followers on my old Instagram. And then I got on TikTok when I got sober because I was bored. So I started doing it because I was just like, I used to be really creative and I don't anymore. And I'm like, oh, I can just press a button and make a video. So I started doing that and it like gained some traction. So I just kind of kept going, and it was basically the first time I ever got any social media exposure.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. What was the verification process like?
Well, because I know like your bio used to be like proof that ugly people can get verified.
I think it still is that.
Oh yeah.
It's because everybody was calling me ugly, so I was like, dude, I am. Like, I don't give a fuck. But I'm not allowed to swear. I'm sorry.
No, you
YouTube.
can. It's fine. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay. My fucking bad. Anyways,
All right.
so I got what is it? I don't know how the verification process works. I don't know anyone who does know. Like my inside connects at TikTok don't know. It's like a secret team that does that. I just looked at my phone one day and I was verified.
Really? That's
Just
so
said,
weird.
"Congrats, you're a popular creator."
Well, because like
kind of
like no
annoying.
offense to you, but like I've seen somebody that has more followers than you and they're not verified. So it's like, what do they
So-
decide where people get verified? You know?
So here's the reason, because I got verified back in like 2019, right? And like the reason they do it is mostly the reason they say they do it is because, and I kind of believe this, but I don't want to get into my personal beliefs on it because I don't want to give away their info and stuff.
Mhm.
But they say that it's for the sake of like if someone's like influential in the creative community and stuff like that, you know. And I don't like saying this because I don't like talking big about myself, you know what I mean? I'm just a regular guy, but I'm the reason they have a green screen filter.
Oh.
Because I was making green screen videos on that app for like a long time, and they were super hyped about talking to me. Like I went out to LA to see them. Well, I saw them when I was in LA, and at their headquarters. 2 days later, after talking with me, they dropped the green screen filter.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I
Actually,
personally love the green screen filter.
that's
so
like
thank
the
It's-
my favorite
it's a-
thing to use.
It's like it gets used so much, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I think that's like one of the like since it does like the automatic hashtags with like whenever you use a filter or whatever, that's like one
Right.
of the most viewed like
We
automatic.
should just call it the
hashtags
Stixie
everywhere.
filter at this point.
Yeah.
Nah,
Hashtag-
it's people do so much with it, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's like people don't realize how much they do with it. I don't even
Yeah.
realize.
Like
I'm
that's the thing is that like I wouldn't even like know where I'd be if I didn't have the green screen filter. Like you use it for everything. Like you can use it for comedy, you use it for sources, for anything. Like it's such a versatile filter to have.
honest to
It
God.
really is so good.
Mhm. So TikTok is looking, everyone kind of goes through whenever Trump says the word ban, everyone kind of panics. So it most likely won't get banned due to the fact that that would just be fascist. But if it does get banned, do you have any plans? Or if it doesn't get banned, what are your plans for just your continuation of creating content on TikTok?
Yeah, I'll probably just keep going. If it does get banned, I'll probably move to Instagram and YouTube. And if times get tough, I'm a reformed criminal. I'll figure something out. But like I don't really see it getting banned, honestly. Anytime soon. It's just the way he'd have to do it is like if he pulled it from the app stores, people would still be allowed to have it on their phones. They can't like go into people's phones unless they do a firewall encryption. Worst case
Mhm.
scenario.
I mean, to be fair, they probably could get in our phones anyway.
They
They
probably
could if
already
they
are.
wanted to, but he's asking to not get reelected.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely
you could
agree with
spin that like crazy.
So you won't you wouldn't move to Byte? That's like everyone's
I hate
thing.
Byte so much.
I made
all-
an account on there. I cannot figure out that app for the life of me. It makes no sense.
Look, the issue I have with Byte and Lasso that I don't have with TikTok is that Byte and Lasso, when they were starting their apps, they literally paid people to be verified creators on those apps
that takes
to
out the
start out
fun.
with. Yeah, it does take out the fun, and it's like I don't want to go on here just to see your people. I want to see a
Mhm.
bunch of different people. That's what's great about TikTok.
Yeah, the
is it's
algorithm is so
it's not regulated.
personalized. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, TikTok does promote their biggest creators like Charlie, Addison Ray.
They do,
But they don't
They
do it like I feel like the thing is I don't do it like I feel like probably how those do because like I've never seen a Charlie D'Amelio video on my For You
Me
page.
neither.
That's a
you know?
lie.
I'm serious.
I've
Like
never
I'm not
seen it.
even never
I've-
like I didn't even know who like Dixie D'Amelio was. I only heard of like Charlie D'Amelio because the whole Hype House thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen her on my For You page. I
Yeah,
just saw
I've
her on
never
my
seen
For
it.
You
Honestly,
page
though,
today.
the reason they get promoted though so much is because like it's not even like I'm not gonna lie. I have a feeling that family like bought some views. I'm not gonna go into that, but because I don't think they're a bad family. But honestly, like there's a lot of kids on the app, and kids love that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Because it's just, they like hyping up some like celebrity
Plus, you have all the
person.
teenage boys simping for Addison Rae.
Yeah, it's like that's the whole reason why it
Don't
works.
say that name around me, Jonah.
You made a video the other day where you did the I need a bad
bad
bitch. Addison Rae
Rae.
and Kristen can't get over it.
I
She
couldn't.
thinks
It's
like
been
the
stuck in
funniest
my
video
head
she's ever
all
seen.
day.
Wait,
I
which
just be
one?
like, I need a bad bleep. Addison Rae, Lil Shorty the baddest.
And she got a ways. Are
yeah.
you guys
So
talking
that-
about the one I did?
Yeah.
So that line's really special for me because I'm convicted of 5
5
counts of voluntary manslaughter. She thinks it's like the
It's
funniest thing
been
ever.
stuck in my head all day. Like literally since me and Jonah were setting this out, I just been like, I need a bad bleep. Addison Rae, Lil Shorty the baddest.
I don't even think when I make these and I have a career.
Like, have you noticed? Because I noticed, like, sometimes, like, for our TikToks, at least on, like, the Socialist Hype House and stuff like that, like, low effort content usually does very well. Like, you don't have to do, like,
Always
anything. But then whenever you, like, put time and effort into a video, it's like, oh, you get nothing.
You know what the secret is that it's like organic comedy versus like
Forced.
yeah, forced comedy. Like
Mhm.
I have like a whole I'm kind of at a point where I can kind of tell which videos are going to do good, which ones are going to do poorly, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like the thing is like I can make a well-edited video that gets my point across with another video, but I have to keep in mind like where the inspiration's coming from. Is it like am I trying to get views, or am I trying to like, because people can read when you're trying to just have the views, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's
They can see
nobody-
right through it if you're just
yeah,
trying to-
nobody wants you to like worry about getting views on a kid's app, you know. It's
yeah.
just, it's kind of sad.
Like I remember I made so I was on vacation with my family, and so I had to keep on making content because we kind of have a minimum for like how much each person should put out. So literally my videos were just me sitting like this with an audio playing over. I just put some text in there to start some controversy in the comments. And those videos did better than me like fucking putting text up, pointing to it.
And then
having to, like,
Jonah
edit.
does the renegade.
Yeah,
I'm a terrible dancer.
I gotta
But-
learn the renegade.
It's so hard.
Jonah
I
can
can't
have
even
Jonah
lie.
teach you.
I can't even lie. It's the hardest thing ever.
My
Like,
followers would tell me like, when we meet up, Stixie, can we do renegade? Like some of the girls that follow me, I'm like, I don't know how to do it. And they're like, "I'll teach you." And I'm like,
I can-
okay.
There's
can-
only one TikTok dance I learned.
Oh,
and
sorry. That was for a fan meetup, because that sounds really weird. I just said
I
when
can
I
tell-
meet up with the girls.
you should just tell them like what towns in Massachusetts will give you a benzo
Yeah.
addiction instead of doing the renegade.
Yeah.
But so what is kind of like your favorite type of content to create?
I like just low effort. Well, semi effort shit posts, honestly, you know what I mean? I like it when I have a good green screen video idea, because those come like few and far between nowadays, because I've done a lot of them. But I like having like a lot of satirical content, like parody content, you know what I mean?
there was one green screen video that you did where it was like it was an ACAB one, and then like it was like two women doing explicit things like, oh, my feet hurt from running all day after criminals, and I was like, please like and share this. This is what the ACAB people want. And it's so funny though. Like I feel like it's crazy.
Did you see my political beliefs video? Because I don't know. You might.
Maybe I don't know.
No, I didn't see that.
I
one.
said that I was. I wanted more female police officers and more female.
Oh yeah.
And that I liked Joseph Stalin because he was good to the birds.
Oh boy.
We have a lot of controversy with Joseph Stalin here at the Socialist Hype House.
My ancestors got killed by Joseph Stalin. I'm sick of this like American interference. You know?
Yeah, no, it's like personally, there are people in our hype house who are more. How do I say this? I don't think it comes from a place of pro-Stalinism, more just anti-Americanism.
Well, yeah.
But I personally don't stick up for Stalin as more
No.
than other people do. Do you I'm guessing you do watch TikToks. If so, who's your favorite creator?
Man, I don't have any favorites on that app because it changes all the time.
Mhm.
I I mean, there's a lot that I like. Like I watch a lot of. Man, I can't think. There's so many new ones right now that I've been watching, but Soupy Time's really funny. Who
Oh, I
else?
her.
That
She's
guy I Speak. I don't know if you know his name, but he's like this poet and like political content creator. He does a really good job. And then who's that other kid? He's got like the hairline that's kind of lays like this and then the fro on top. Black kid has got like the hairline like that. He makes like the most like the best comebacks, these like Republican videos. I'm forgetting his name.
Oh, is it
now.
Blackbird?
No,
Oh,
Blackbird's good too, though. I love Blackbird.
I know there's like one guy. I can't think of his name either right now. But it's like there's like the big socialist, or is it the big socialist?
Yeah, there's the big that's Tay.
N- yeah, is it?
No,
I think.
I don't know.
I don't
There's
even
just
know.
too many TikTokers.
There are too many
He's
TikToks.
funny. That's what. Yeah, there are too many.
So I think now would be a good time to kind of move into the political part of our interview.
Because we
Uh,
are a political account, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
People are not very happy with that. They're always like, get politics off at TikTok. What's your opinion on that? Like,
Yeah, they're fine with people making jokes about sexual abuse and everything else like that, you know. And then as soon as some people start making fun of people for making jokes about that, then it's like, oh, get politics off of TikTok, guys.
yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
they're fine.
it's
They're fine with racist jokes until somebody says stop being racist, and I'll
Exactly.
get it off. You know.
yeah, Chris,
Go ahead, John. Oh, it's okay. You got it.
So what kind of political ideology would you say you identify with?
So here's my thing, right? Is like first and foremost, I'm big on like, you know, policies and what needs to happen right now. And I feel like one thing that I've seen, because I've been in activism since like 2012, right? One thing I see in the left kind of get bogged down on is arguing about theory and arguing about old ass countries that failed so much. And it's like, look, I don't care about this system or that system. I want to see change right now. And I don't see most of these kids like starting a revolution right now. So let's try and maybe focus on like baby steps, you know?
Mhm.
But I'd say mostly like I'd fall into like libertarian socialism. I just want the workers to own the means of production. I don't really like big government, but I don't think we're ready for.
Hey.
Damn, I didn't realize you were so based.
I don't think we're ready for like any sort of
Revolution.
libertarianism right now in
No,
this country.
No. Especially if it was libertarian socialist, the Trumpies would not be happy about that in any way.
Well, that's why I like guns, though. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's why I like my guns. But you know, it's like. But the sad thing is like I don't even want to own a gun legally because of the way the government is right now. You know, I don't want them to trace something.
That's the thing is that like with a lot of gun control and stuff like that, that it's like gun control is inherently like classist and it would infect like minorities and stuff the most. And I don't think like liberals and Democrats realize that. And so they want to make it harder for people to get guns, which I understand that it's like a safety thing. But then the thing is then the government will just have more regulation on preventing on who gets guns. So they'll be like, oh, well, you're a person of color. I don't want you to have a gun, so you're not getting one. You know what I mean?
I'm cool with background checks, but I can't even be pro background check right now because the way the system works. Like that's the problem I have. That's why I look at like policies over like, you know, ideologies is because like at this point, like I'd be pro death penalty for like serial killers or like rapists,
like that's
but
right
until you look at how many people get proven innocent after they've been executed.
It's like 8% or 4%.
I think it's like 4%.
But still, 4%. That's 4 out of every 100 people.
That's not good. It's hard.
Like, yeah, so that's
trying to decide on your beliefs when the country you're supposed to believe in is a mess, right?
Right.
You know?
So that's what I was thinking to myself the other day. Like, I would say I'm almost always like anti-death penalty, but like And that's because I don't think the state is ever going to be able to handle whether someone should live or die effectively. However,
Exactly.
in my ideal world, like fascists would get the death penalty.
Yes.
But I don't think my ideal world will ever
Exists.
exist.
Honestly, though, man, I think we should mandate therapy. Have like
Definitely
state-mandated
focus a lot on
therapy.
rehabilitation and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you know what? Like, I see a lot of traits. My family works in a mental health field, right? I see a lot of traits in like Trump supporters that are very much the same with like a lot of paranoid schizophrenics and sociopaths. And not to down anybody, because I have sociopathic tendencies. And I also, schizophrenia runs in my family. But it's like those are the types of things. And that's why I used to be a friggin' like Trumpy style racist. You know what I mean? Is because it's like this sort of like denial of facts and wanting to just sort of, you know, it just fits that
narrative
whole thing.
Yeah.
And people need therapy, bruh, you know?
That's the thing. There's definitely a stigma with therapy and stuff like that. And I'm sure you probably experienced it too as like a guy like going to therapy, like, going to therapy is a girly thing and stuff like that too. As that like men, I feel like don't have as easy access to like therapy and stuff like that.
It's not even access. I feel like it's a mix of like A, it's girly, and also B, like guys feel the need to like just solve their own problems.
Yeah, it's stigma. I got diagnosed as like having ADD when I was a kid, right?
Same.
If I had been put on like I got on meds recently, bruh, after I like almost I almost died in January. If I had been put on meds and when I was a kid, I would have grown up to be so good. I would have had like, a really good job.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. So like it's a tough balance because I've been taking ADD meds since fucking 7th grade, and right now I take fucking a lot of meds. Like it is an insane dosage. But basically it's like I find it to be a tough subject because on one hand there are kids who need it. On the other, I feel like there's an over willingness to prescribe and diagnose.
Yeah. No, there is. But I do think that like I think there is, but at the same time, I do think that treatment should be an option for every single kid. You know what I mean? And I feel like they got to get better at the screenings and better at encouraging parents to do screenings. Like I got screened for autism spectrum disorder at a very young age. I don't show any symptoms anymore. Other than some sensory issues, and that's because of
why are we so
occupational?
I mean, I know I don't know really anybody that. I mean, I know like my boyfriend's cousin or whatever. He takes a lot of medicine. He's like 7 or 8 years old or whatever like that. And like you can just see like once his medicine kicks in, he just like sits still. It's like staring at the wall almost. You know what I mean? But like whenever he doesn't take his medicine, he is definitely like crazy too. Like he likes jumping around and stuff like that. But I think the thing is too with like the medication and stuff like that, it's kind of hard to find like a good balance for kids and stuff like that. Because they are supposed to be fun and excited, but they also need to have some self-discipline to be able to sit down.
Also, what we got to understand, guys, about psychology and stuff is that like they haven't known most of the stuff they've known about neuroscience and psychology, and I consider ocular science part of neuroscience. Like I lost my eye when I was 4 years old, right?
Wow.
And that was 96. No, that was when I was born. Okay, that was in the either 1999 or 2000, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not good at math, but like, so like the thing is that like if I was born like today with the same problems, I probably would have been fine, you know. And it's science is always changing and stuff like that, and their way of doing meds is changing. You know what I mean? They've changed the way they do like EMDR therapy and everything. Like there's so many different ways that it's changing now. So I feel like it's a conversation that's always going to be kind of
evolving
around, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
For you, if a senator or congressperson proposed a universal health care program like Medicare for all, but it didn't include mental health, would it still be universal health care for you?
No.
Me too.
No.
Yes,
we need to start treating mental health as
serious as
serious as physical injuries. I have borderline personality disorder. I think it's like 10% of people with borderline die every
Really?
year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Be-
You know, that sounds like a health crisis.
Statistic, yeah.
That sounds like a health crisis. I could be wrong. I want to fact check that. I don't know, but I don't have my internet.
Well, we don't really have. I could fact check it real quick.
Yeah, Kristen, you want to get on that?
Yeah, I'll fact check it.
What social issue would you say you're most passionate about?
Man, it's so hard. I'm kind of black pilled, if I'm being real. I don't feel like there's any hope for anything, honestly.
Okay.
But I would right now, honestly, it's the police reform that we need, because that's been something that's been a problem for years, and it's I think my biggest social issue I want, honestly, is getting Donald Trump out of office. If I'm being quite honest, I think that like everything about that presidency has been like horrible for this country, you know, and I think that needs to be a priority. I'll take racist Joe over like openly racist Trump.
Okay, that actually, you know, we have a couple questions on that. So
Massachusetts a blue state or a red state?
It's a blue state.
I mean, they elected Elizabeth. They elected Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey as their senator.
So much of it is red, though, and so much of it is like conservative. You know what I mean?
Like because it's weird because Boston's like known for being racist.
We are, dude.
And then like there's also like suburban parts of Mass there. It's like they're red because they don't want their taxes raised.
I might get canceled for this, but for a while when I was like really racist, we got like 2 convenience stores in my neighborhood, right? And so I'd say, do you go to the Indian convenience store, the one owned by people who are Indian, and do you go to the it was a Vietnamese convenience store, and I was like, do you go to the Geo something convenience store? And that was just a part of my vocabulary. That wasn't even something I thought about as like, wow, that's bad, because that's what everybody says. You know,
I mean,
so what I found about the death rates with it is that it looks like it's 5.5%, while it only affects 1 to 2% of people in the United States. It looks like, but that's still,
I see. That's still kind of bad.
It's a small amount of technically like general population, but people with that 5% of people with that disease, that is a significant
exactly
percentage within that, anyways. But I mean, like 1% of Americans and 2% of Americans is still a couple million Americans, you know?
Yeah.
So with this election, I would say it's a little unique. So especially as someone who's a survivor, how do you feel that both Biden and Trump have multiple allegations against them, but yet they're both about to be president?
So here's my thing, right? Is like, I'm a survivor, but I'm also very skeptical of things. And with Donald Trump, I have a very creeping feeling that I feel like he's very guilty of all those allegations. Here's my thing, though, and correct me if I'm wrong. The only allegation I've heard from Biden is the whole Tara Reade case.
So he actually has 8 allegations against him.
Really?
So there's
any of the other ones.
So basically, how do I say this? Tara Reade's they're all bad, like sexual assault. I don't want to demean anyone's experience, but Tara Reade's is like the quote unquote worst in terms of the actions taken. But all the other allegations, they're kind of more sexual harassment, borderline sexual assault.
That makes sense.
Like uncomfortable.
Okay. So that makes
kissing,
sense.
Uncomfortable hugging.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
I did see those.
It's so in technicality, he has 8 allegations against him. Tara Reade's is kind of like the boldest.
So I think he's a creep, if I'm being real. I think he's a creep.
You're wrong there. Yeah.
Here's my thing about Tara Reade, and like some people are gonna hate me for this, right? But like I've done a lot of research into that case because I hear like so many people talking about it. So I was like, I need to do some research. And like, first off, I want to say like this stuff is kind of difficult to talk about because it's like, you know, I hate that we have this narrative of like, you know, so many things that either make or break a case on sexual abuse. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense to me. And like I want you guys to feel free to fact check me on this stuff because this is from memory.
Kristen,
what I've read. Yeah, absolutely fact check me on this because like I'd love this is why I like having these conversations so I can kind of like settle it. But because I'm not good at reading. But so I'm not going to go into her history too much, but apparently like a lot of her history is just kind of like, you know, she kind of has this thing of like playing this sort of damsel in distress, which I can resonate with because I'm borderline and I would do that all the time. You know what I mean? And then constantly asking for money or attention, stuff like that. Here's the two things that kind of like really, really make me feel a little fishy about it. So there's this like, she had this lawyer friend named Clett. I forget her first name, but her last name was Clett, Klett. And apparently Tara Reid like calls her in like 2019 or 2018, asking her to support her in this case, like pro bono. And Clett turns it down because she didn't feel like she had enough substantial evidence for this sort of thing. You know what I mean? Which make what you will, because I can't trust the lawyer either. You know what I mean? 'Cause people say a lot of things aren't substantial enough. But she also claimed that the story she told on the news was way different than the story that she told her. And it's kind of her word versus, you know, Tara Reid's word, so I can't even judge it on that. But here's the thing that kind of this makes me feel weird, right? So her lawyer who was originally representing her, and this is what I read from like New York Times, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently he was a Trump donor and also a prominent Me Too lawyer, which I don't know how those two things go together.
I see that right now on New York Times. Douglas H. Wigdor was the leading plaintiff, attorney in the Me Too era, but then he is a former star host from Fox News, and he's apparently worked with Harvey Weinstein.
Yep, and he dropped her case like in it took him like 2 weeks to drop the case, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which I find is kind of weird because he actually donated to Trump's campaign. And my whole mind, in my mind, I'm just like, why would he drop that case when it's everything he would want to do, other than he just felt like there wasn't a case there? You know what I mean? And I don't like Joe Biden. I still think he's a creep, and I'll still stand by it. But I just don't really know about that story. I'm very confused, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for me, I'm probably going to give a defense of Tara Reid here. So first of all, for me, whether it's Christine Blasey Ford, Tara Reid, I lean towards defending them automatically because especially when you're coming after someone of such national prominence, you are automatically putting your life in danger.
Oh, absolutely.
So you're not going to do that unless... And I feel like especially in the digital age, it's even harder to cover a paper trail. So it's harder to like bribe someone, quite literally. So I feel like that's a little less of a probable reason. So I'm automatically more inclined to defend Tara Reid. And there are a couple problems with Biden's case. First of all, he's Delaware. He's not letting his office of Delaware kind of release the records.
I know, and that's what makes me kind of just on the fence about it, you know, because he's not cooperating. And
that Larry King interview kind of corroborates Tara Reid's story. So I'm probably like 65-35.
Exactly.
Like, willing to defend Tara Reid, but I do think there are some holes in her story.
Yeah, I'm like a 60-40 on it, you know what I mean? But it's like, at the same time, as much as I hate like having to, I don't like Joe Biden, and I honestly think he's probably done a lot worse behind the scenes that we don't know about. Just like I think everybody.
Well, is he on the list
No, he was not on Epstein's list.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's because I saw a tweet about it, and they're like, "Oh, look who's not on Epstein's list," and then people are like, "The bar is on the floor."
Yeah. My thing is like I'm naturally just so skeptical of anything, you know, that like I just like. No matter what it is, like except with Survivors, funny enough, but I have to learn to like look into stories because I've been wrong a few times about some people, and that really freaks me out. You know what I mean? Being wrong about it, but yeah, like overall, it's like I just think in terms of what happened with Tara Reid, I don't want the guy in office. But if we're choosing, if I have to kind of give up, if I'm being honest, I feel like I come from a place of privilege. If I'm just saying that I feel like I don't really want to vote for Biden if it means a vote against Trump because, you know, I'm a survivor and this happened. Because, like, there's so much worse things that are happening to other people under Trump's administration. You know what I mean? And I feel like I kind of have to put the bat down because normally I'd be, if it was like between like, I don't know, Ted Cruz and Joe Biden, I'd be like fucking fuck Biden too. You know what I mean? But this is like the time that we're in right now. Like this, we have over 3 million cases of coronavirus right now. You know what I mean?
I think it's 4 million.
Oh, it's up to 4 now.
Yeah, and then we're over 150,000 deaths.
Yeah,
at least
I can't sit by my morals, and you know, I got to give my morals a rest. You know, that's what I think.
Who did you go ahead?
Well, because like my whole thing is because like on my personal TikTok, I bully Biden supporters a lot because I hate Biden very much.
Same.
But the Biden supporters are honestly meaner than Trump supporters, from what I realized, because I live in a very red state. So Hillary Clinton got 500,000 less votes than Trump. I live in Kentucky. So there's no way that Trump is going to win, or Trump is definitely going to win Kentucky. Like, it doesn't matter who he was running against, he would win. And so I've decided to vote third party for me personally, and I'd advocate for voting for third party because it's something I believe in. And if the third party, the Green Party, gets 5% of votes, they'll get federal funding for future elections. And so I make videos and stuff about that. And then the Biden bros are like, if you vote for third party, it's a vote for Trump and stuff like that. It's like, no, that's not really how elections work.
It's really it's a misunderstanding of electoral politics. Just, if we had a popular vote, you could make that argument.
But we don't. So
and I'm the same way. I live in Connecticut, and Connecticut hasn't gone red since Reagan won 49 out of 50 states.
My thing is that like overall the electoral college is very different in different states and stuff. And there are some states where like your votes kind of do matter, and there's some
so there are
swing states and stuff like that.
And also there are states where they just give their electoral college votes to whoever wins the popular vote.
Yeah.
But I don't think my state is one of those states.
Neither. I mean, I know, like, even if I voted for Biden, it would be, Biden lost 499,000 votes instead of, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't be any difference for me to not vote third party.
No, exactly.
And the people in my comments are so angry about it. They're like, you are so stupid. You're voting for Trump, blah, blah, blah. I got called a maggot because I said I was voting third party because, you know, like, that's what they call Trump supporters. Yeah. And I was like, are you kidding me now?
This is why I hated the Bernie bro narrative.
This is why you make me want to vote for Biden even less, even if I was like on the fence about it, you know?
I just don't like overall is just like people who act like Biden is just as bad as Donald Trump. That's where I draw the line. You know what I mean?
I mean,
that's misunderstanding.
I think Biden is pretty bad. I don't think he's like as bad as Trump, but I'm not gonna like.
It's a low bar.
It's because I think that whole mindset comes from like being, you know, fucking rich middle class and just feeling like you know, it's when the election doesn't really matter to you is when it bothers me. You know what I mean? That's what bothers me. Not so much like people want to vote third party because it doesn't matter in their state. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But it's when people kind of act like they don't care who's president just because they know that it does not affect them. Yeah, I don't like that.
That is definitely like a place of like privilege and stuff like that too. Because I mean, like, you can definitely see like with the COVID cases affect like minority groups and stuff like that. Like, I don't know if like we would probably still be open now, I think, under Biden, but I think we probably would have been closed a little bit longer. So it probably wouldn't be at least as many cases. But I do think it would be better enough where more people's lives would be saved. But I don't think it's going to be like significant change where like America is going to be this brand new great place again. You know?
I think Joe Biden is going to be like JFK and just be overrated.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Definitely.
overrated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I feel and that's the thing is like I was talking about this earlier with my friends. I was like, I've never heard of like a campaign thing. Like I don't think Biden advocates for this, but like all of the people that are like vote for Biden, blue no matter who, they're like settle for Biden.
No,
Like
there's
that-
an
Wait.
actual settle for Biden super PAC now.
I like that.
But,
There's
like,
an Instagram for
could
it.
you
There was
imagine?
an
like
Instagram
that.
quote saying that they posted it on their Instagram. They said, if Joe Biden died today, I wouldn't shed a tear.
Yes, I saw that. It's like I wouldn't shed a tear, but I'm still voting for him in November. But it's like,
Yeah.
but it's like I can't believe that. Like I've never heard of any like political campaigns like, oh, you're settling for me. Like, haha. The reason why you're voting for me is because I'm not Trump. You know what I mean? And that's such a horrible argument to have, and I don't think that makes you like a good candidate at all. Just being like, well, I'm not the other guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, I think it's a horrible argument. Absolutely. I do seriously think though that like
Settle for Biden.
yeah, I don't know. Like what I'm afraid of is just honestly like Donald Trump's stupidity scares me.
Mhm.
It scares the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they both
he's
have some
incompetent.
form of cognitive decline.
Yeah. I mean,
Joe
that's what
Biden
happens
had
whenever
a
you turn
stroke.
70.
Yeah, Joe Biden had a stroke, and I don't think he cares about this country that much. But look, we're in a war zone right now, and I'm sorry, but the reasons why like protests are so crazy is because Trump has escalated those when he called for violence and when he sent in people to be
The
violent. You know,
military and stuff like that. And then,
Yeah.
like what they're doing in Portland, how they're taking people on bags and unmarked vehicles and stuff like that. Like that's
yep.
fascism. That is scary.
It is fascism. The UN declared our treatment of asylum seekers as unconstitutional,
Mhm.
and the they're basically considering the detention center as a concentration camp. And honestly, I miss when having friends who were Republican meant having friends who were like, just like maybe we should let in less immigrants into the country, you know,
Instead of actual
That
bigots
was
and
the-
racists.
yeah, let's use our taxpayer money to like keep people in cages because they ruin the economy, right?
Mhm.
As
Yeah.
Let's do that.
As if your wealth hasn't been stolen by like the top 1%.
Yeah, I love
Huh.
all these like wage slaves calling themselves capitalists.
Oh
You know what I
my
mean? That's my favorite
God,
thing.
Capitalist with no
every day.
capital.
Well, you don't know, motherfucker. I own capital. I used to sell the most drugs on my street. You don't know shit about capitalism.
Oh my
That's
God.
capitalism,
Oh,
There
baby.
was
that's the
this
best.
one person in my comments the other day because I made a video. I was like, if you hate on people from stealing from corporations, that's classist. People like need to steal from corporations sometimes to survive, you know? And then somebody in the comments was like, I'm a capitalist and I work for a corporation. Like,
Okay, bootlicker.
no. No, you're not.
Like the boot
sweetie.
is on your neck, and rather than trying to shove it off,
Right?
you are taking your tongue and giving it a nice old lick.
Yummy.
Yeah. Oh, it's
just,
so funny.
Just really quickly, what do you think will happen with Ghislaine Maxwell with her being in custody now?
Man, I don't even know who that is. That's how we
That's
ran
Epstein's
Epstein's
girlfriend.
wife. His wife.
Oh,
They were married.
shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's in
getting
custody now.
whacked. She's getting whacked.
You don't
Yeah,
think
I
she's gonna
think-
commit suicide again, or
She will.
not again? But
Well, yeah,
I
she'll
saw-
commit suicide. You
Because
know what I mean?
there's like I know some documents came out about her, like not like from her testimony, I think like today or something, where she listed like some people, and that's how like Bill Clinton was seen with 2 minors or whatever on Epstein's Island and stuff like that. So stuff like that has come out, and so like people are posting about it on TikTok, like making informational videos about it. And then I was like, I'm so sorry to hear that she committed suicide tomorrow and stuff like that, because I
One
wouldn't be
thing that-
surprised if something like that happens again.
One thing that the Donald Trump campaign does that is very scary is they always announce something that's really bogus right when they do something really, really bad behind the scenes, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first time they mentioned the TikTok ban, the Supreme Court ruled that it was okay for employers to refuse birth control as part of the Affordable Care Act.
Oh yeah. And
They
then
do
people,
this all the time.
and that's the thing is that like on TikTok, everyone's just going to talk about the TikTok ban. They're not going to talk about
Exactly.
birth control getting blocked.
The fact that I didn't know about Epstein's wife that much just
yeah.
kind of freaks me out, and it's
Well,
because
did you hear what he said at a press conference the other day?
Oh yeah, he like wished her well. He's like, I hope she does great or something like that. It's really creepy
And
stuff.
Trump has been Trump is on the list for like who went to Epstein's island.
yeah,
And there was a court case, anonymous released documents of a court case against him and Jeffrey
Anonymous
Epstein.
didn't release those; they were already out
They
there.
were already out.
They
but
were
like
already
I
out,
think
but like they
Anonymous
promoted it.
popularized them
Exactly.
this year. Yeah.
They and it's just crazy, those documents.
Yeah, about how like it was like a young girl and she like
two 13-year-olds.
yeah, but like there was like one girl that was suing them or whatever, and then she's basically missing now apparently, like according to like her lawyers and stuff like that, because like everyone's like, well, she dropped the charges, but the thing is like her lawyer's not able to get like the lawyer isn't able to get a hold of her anymore, so they had to like drop the case because they don't have their client anymore, you know?
Just
Exactly.
pays to read behind the headlines, right? You know.
Yeah.
And-
So yeah, go ahead.
Oh, you can go, Jenna, if you have something else.
No,
to say.
I was gonna transition to the next
Oh,
topic.
you can transition. I don't remember what I was gonna say now since you cut me off.
Transition.
Yeah. So the last topic we kind of want to talk about is mental health. So you obviously care a lot. You advocate for mental health patients. How has TikTok affected your mental health?
You know, honestly, like it's been really good for me. I'm a recovering habitual liar, and I kind of had to get out of my comfort zone when I'm in the eyes of like a bunch of people, and I had to stop like breaking promises with myself and start like committing to myself more. You know, because a lot of people are watching you, and I got to be a good influence. A lot of people don't live by that. That's just what I got out of it. Kids, if you're watching this, don't go into social media. It's not good for your mental health. But for me, it helped. But I do think that there's a big problem with influencers and influencer culture kind of not really promoting the most healthiest things. Like I can't tell you how many Instagram influencers I've followed who will just tell you that like my cure was just like getting money and now I can drink just fine. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and it's like, yeah, I know what it's like to be able to afford it, and it still kills you just as much. You know what I mean?
Social media gives me so much anxiety.
Oh my god, it's so stressful. Like
I stay off of it for the most part when I'm not working, you know?
Well, because I know like with comments and stuff like that, like people can be so mean. You know what I mean? Like it's like middle school bullies all over again. Like it's like middle school kids are all over
Except for
social media.
you can't like punch them.
So I got like major PTSD, right? And like I'm on, and like complex PTSD too. I'm on like meds now, right? So like I'm pretty good at this in streams, but like there was a time in Stixie 617's lives where like I would get death threats, and I straight up in my whole PTSD craze, because I've been in real life shootouts. I've had attempts on my life before. Like
that's so crazy.
This kid was saying, there's a car waiting for you, cuzzo. I'm sorry we had to do this. And I could have just been like, oh, it's a troll. No, I went dead ass out on my porch with an illegal firearm and said, where's the fucking car, bro? Where's the fucking car? Like flashing my address. And
oh my god.
Yeah. And it's like, I've kind of grown to realize that I need to set an example for the people that follow me in taking care of my own mental health.
Exactly.
Because moments like that, you know.
Now all you do is just throw your eye.
Honestly. Yeah. that was like well into my career too. That was like 200K followers, I think I was doing that shit.
You gotta keep an eye out for Selena.
Honestly.
No,
I'm talking about the illegal firearm was 200K followers.
Yeah. So a lot of people probably saw that. Yeah, you did. No need to dox Stixie. Stixie doxes himself.
I do. I
Stixie wants you to pull up.
Pull up or pull out, you know?
Yeah.
Being a male survivor, do you feel as if you get outcasted at all by other men?
I don't really know. It's hard to tell, because it's hard to tell from the difference between like my own personal kind of like distrust of other men. Because it's happened two times to me, and one time I'm not so sure of. But I don't know, some of it's like personal distrust, but I haven't really had this experience of like, I feel like there's this weird narrative going around that like, people, I might kind of use this to kind of talk about some stuff about male survivorship that I feel like people don't know if that's okay.
Go for it.
That's fine.
But it's like I see a few narratives going around that are kind of weird. Like people kind of blame the whole thing just on other men, and it's like, look, I feel like there's just everyone, and I support feminism, but I feel like there's some women who also have some real weird ideas about it. It's like I've seen a lot of my friends who are women just kind of go, well, what happened? And just give me this kind of look when that's their first reaction when I tell them. And it's like society still believes because of patriarchy that men are these indestructible beings that can't, experience any sort of harm or pain. And so it's hard to like be kind of broken out of the patriarchy by force in that sense, to realize that by force. And that's kind of what happened to me, was realizing that, oh, wow, so I'm not this like indestructible person that everyone told me. And, I feel like with a lot of male survivorship, people kind of don't understand that it's a very nuanced issue, and it's different from being a female survivor, and it comes with different problems, and it's all patriarchy, but it's a lot of different, it's a very different experience. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
Wait,
Jonah
what?
said something funny. Jonah said something funny.
She's not laughing at what you're saying at all.
Jonah's
No,
like
what'd you say?
It's
just
because
like,
your Boston accent.
it's so thick.
It's so
It is.
thick.
It
You
is.
just like had. And I was like, yo.
Yeah.
I was
I
like,
get you.
literally, it's just like Mark Wahlberg is on my screen right now. from Ted.
Yeah.
Like I'm so sorry. I don't mean to demean what you're saying. at
No.
No,
all.
it's totally okay. I get
It's
it.
just, I literally
Let
just
me
think of
try
like
and- Let me try and code switch for a moment, honestly.
yeah,
But
go for it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
so it's like, by code switch, I mean, let me try and like kind of
Finish your thought.
Change.
You can go ahead.
we'll change the way I'm talking about.
No,
change
no,
the-
No, you're fine. You're
It's
fine.
totally
Okay,
fine.
okay.
I made her laugh. I made
It's
her
all
laugh.
right. So yeah, but what I'm saying is like the whole it's a very different experience. Like, it's I feel like there's not as many support systems for like male survivors that a lot of male survivors know about. I feel like a lot of them aren't as willing to go to therapy. I feel like there's a lot of stigma around it, but and I feel like the worst of all is we kind of get brought up in these arguments to demean like female survivors' experience all the time. And personally, I'm kind of sick of it, that we get used mostly as a talking point.
Yeah, because that's the thing, is that especially like I know with like I'm gonna say Republicans, because like that's who I usually experience it from. It's like, oh, you talk about like women's like like the way that women are sexually assaulted and stuff like that, and that on like college campuses it's like 1 out of every 5 women are either sexually harassed or sexually assaulted and stuff like that, and they're just like, well, men get assaulted too, so it's like,
It's
why
like
aren't you?
saying all lives matter.
And the thing is, look, I'm gonna be real, and some people might hate me for this, but men do not get assaulted because of misandry. I'm just gonna say that right now. That we have a problem with women being assaulted. Male sexual abuse happens and it's horrible, and the way that we have stigma around it is bad. We have a serious problem with women being assaulted, and we've had it for years. It is a
Decades.
crisis.
Centuries.
Yes.
Yeah, like it happens to men just in the same way that I feel like, wild animal attacks happen in the wilderness and they're so unfortunate. You know what I mean?
But we have a poaching problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like,
you know,
it's just like, I think it's frustrating because it's like, yeah, if you want to talk about like male sexual assault and stuff like that, you should talk about that, but you shouldn't just bring it up in response to women getting assaulted.
It's like
And
bringing
that's-
up false allegations. Like,
and that's exactly. And that's what I hate too, is like when I'm talking about like my own experience now, in turn, because of so much of my story being used for the wrong reasons, I get all these comments. Well, you could have made this an opportunity to talk about women. And I'm like, no,
that's not the
I'm
goal.
talking about my story, and and I feel like cancel culture has really ruined the narrative on a lot of this stuff too, because nowadays it's like we can't really talk about the intricacies of this stuff, and I feel like the way that we talk about it is so harmful to survivors, and that's not something that people pay attention to. Like, I've made a few videos calling creators out. There was this one creator who I don't want to name because I did
Did
some
you delete
digging
the
in.
video?
No, it's still on there. It's just the whole story. I have some insight on the story, and they haven't really talked about it, but it's a little weird. But basically, in the video they made, it was this absolutely horrible video saying, using like they were gaslighting someone because, like, well, just because like how come you said that I harassed you when like you were talking to me years after the fact, you know? And it's like that kind of stuff is like so gaslighting to so many people's experiences. You know what I mean? And then you have, because I get kids all the time who come in my stream and they're like, hey, like, I'm not sure if I should tell this to my therapist. And I'm like, no, tell this to your therapist. You know,
And when in doubt, tell it to your therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing I want is these like kids who are going through this stuff to feel like, oh, well, my story's not valid because that's what I was told as a kid.
And I
So
know
many
there's
times.
definitely like a stigma where like personally like where something has happened and you looked back on it and you're like, well, that was kind of like sexual harassment right there. You know what I mean? Like you look back on something where like somebody maybe touched you, like at least for me personally, like I had a teacher of mine whenever I was in high school, like put his hand on my lower back.
Ooh.
Yeah. And like at the time, like I was like, oh, that was weird. But then now looking back, I was like a 16, 17-year-old girl where this 20-year-old plus man was putting his hand on my lower back. He probably shouldn't have done that. And being the adult in that situation should have been aware that that was definitely not something you should do, you know?
I think one of my biggest problems with the conversations that we have about it is that we don't focus enough on the survivors. We focus on the perpetrator so much. And there's so many reasons why I have a problem with it, because one reason is like there are some instances where it's, how do I explain this? Like, so like 2 16-year-old kids sometimes don't really have the best sex education and stuff.
Yes.
And so sometimes, you know, people don't really know how to ask for consent during something, and something happens and someone feels uncomfortable. And then what happens is we're jumping between, well, is this guy a perpetrator or are they a victim, you know? And it's like, it shouldn't matter. What should matter most important is that that person learns how to properly ask consent.
Yeah.
And the
I think
other person gets treatment.
Exactly.
And
well, I was just going to say, like, especially in the United States with our sex education, stuff like that, like,
It's
it is
shit.
definitely underfunded. It's not anything good. And there's so much stigma around it. Like, it's always, like, at least, like, I live in Kentucky, so a pretty conservative area. It's like, you don't talk about sex with your parents or anything like that. You don't talk about it at school. You talk about that with the person you're going to have sex with, so it makes people uncomfortable with the idea of talking
just
about
like banning
sex and
alcohol
stuff
was
like
a good idea, huh?
Yeah.
You
But
know,
like,
it works.
yeah. But that's the thing, is that like they make it so like people don't want to talk about it, so whenever they're in like the act of it, they don't know how to do it or how to react or how to explain to someone that they're uncomfortable with something, because
Exactly.
they don't know how to talk about it. And it's
Exactly.
because they don't teach people how to talk about it.
And we're not going to blame someone for not saying no when they were supposed to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to blame the education that got it there. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you'll allow me to continue. I don't mean to ramble and stuff.
Please.
No, go ahead.
But like my other big problem with it is that like with the focus we have on perpetrators so much, I don't think people realize that confronting a perpetrator is not necessarily what you need in order to recover from a situation.
No.
And there's absolutely no talks about
How to recover.
seeking therapy, stuff like that. Like people don't advocate for that. It's always just about canceling a pervert. And it's like, I'm so done with this.
So I mean,
you know,
And that's the thing too, is that like I know like when most people like get sexually assaulted or something, or like raped or something like that, they'll be like, oh, did you get your did you go to the police about it and stuff like that, to try to like immediately like,
because they do
you should
so
go
much.
to, yeah, like you should go to therapy first to talk about it, or like talk to a mental health counselor about it, you know?
This whole conversation has got me thinking, like, I blame Bernie for losing his campaign. I think he ran a terrible campaign. And one of the things I think he did was that he talked on his main points too much. But now that I'm thinking about this, like, he could have put Medicare for all in such a new perspective, because part of Medicare for all is not just free healthcare like flu shots. It's he
Cancer
included things like eye treatment, dental care, and mental health care.
Mhm.
And if he emphasized mental health care, because we recently had a debate where two of our members debated conservatives on Medicare for all, and they
I
brought
think
up
they were
positive-
classical liberals, so
classical liberals.
don't get them mixed up, Jonah.
My mistake. It's not like it leads down to the same alt-right
They're,
pipeline.
they're
anyways.
classical liberals. Joyful, joyful, we adore thee. Put those kids into the camps. That's what they do.
Jesus Christ.
That's
Anyway,
classical liberalism.
we had a debate. We had a debate on Medicare for all, and they were bringing up points like cost and wait times. And I'm thinking to myself, like, mental health care is a big part, and they're saying, oh, a private healthcare system, if you take away government regulations, costs will lower and care will expand. It's like you have no guarantee that is anything beyond primary care. Like Medicare for all is, there's a reason Medicare for all is so expensive, even though it would probably save money.
Look, can I just say something for like all my small government people out there? just all my small government people out there. Look, I like small government. All right. Hey, I like small government too. That doesn't mean you want to be a cuck for fucking corporate America, dude. Corporations are not people. Jeff Bezos is not a fucking real person.
He's a lizard man.
He doesn't care about people. Stop defending them. They're not people.
I love that so much.
Right.
Because like that's the thing is that like Jeff Bezos could like, but he doesn't because he doesn't feel like it, you know.
Exactly.
No, yeah.
But
And
yeah,
it's
so I'm just thinking like mental health care. If Medicare for all was somehow passed, like that would be such an under-talked part about it. But like, imagine you.
I feel like it's
you get
because
sexually
mental
assaulted.
health is stigmatized in the United States, though. You
But
know
it's
what I
not
mean?
even that. It's like
Unless
stigma
you have
part of it.
depression.
Yeah.
It's mental health week, so depression and ADHD week.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh yeah.
But like, imagine just like you like have a bad week, or you get sexually assaulted, and rather than having to worry about, oh, what's my copay or what's my deductible, you can just go in.
Go on
talk to
in.
someone.
Yeah.
But like, think like that would do so much good.
It
Mhm.
would.
Like, especially since Republicans want to use the talking point of like, oh, well, it's mental health that caused school shootings.
I think we need mandatory therapy for everyone, man. Do you know how many non-neurotypical people I know that like struggle to have like basic conflict resolution skills?
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
How
Like,
many like neurotypical people that can't do conflict resolution?
I struggle
you know?
with it.
Object relations is like something that like I've known about my whole life. I can tell when I'm projecting onto someone,
Mhm.
and there's people who do it and literally don't know they're doing it, who are completely mentally like, you know, they don't have any
Yeah.
sort of, they're neurotypical and they have problems, because we all do.
Yeah. And
You
I
know?
feel like, because like I remember, because like whenever I was in high school and stuff like that, living with my parents, I was very like suicidal and depressed because of like my father committed suicide and stuff, and that had like a whole impact on me. But we don't have to get into that because we're not interviewing that. But then I remember I was like I was telling my mom because I thought she would like help me like get some help and stuff like that. She didn't, because I was like, yeah, I kind of want to kill myself, and she's like, well, everybody feels that way. And I'm
I
like,
wanted to die when I was
that-
12 years old, and my counselor said, no, you can't have depression when you're young.
yeah, that's the thing.
What? What?
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
No.
But
Yeah, you-
my mom was just like, yeah, everybody wants to kill themselves, but they don't go talking about it, and it's like,
What a
I wonder
What a
why.
depressive
Here's a-
society.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Here's a big problem I have with internet stuff too. Cries for help are so important, and they need to be listened to. Like, because guess what? For anybody watching this, if you deal with mental health stuff, hey, my first time cutting was for the sake of attention. I felt like it was the only way I could seek attention. And that's not
Mhm.
healthy. That's
No.
not healthy. That person needs help just as much as me when I was cutting for like just my own regular reasons. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like that.
So, yeah. So Stixie, I think now would be a good time to go into the live Q&A part.
Oh yeah, let's do
We
it.
already have a
was-
few questions.
We do already. So I'm going to go up. There was a question displayed that I wanted to. Stixie, this is for you. Have you ever struggled with showing a certain degree of vulnerability on social media?
Absolutely, Elisa X. You know what? Like, I used to just feel really weird about like showing my face and stuff. I've dealt with body dysmorphia. I used to feel weird about like being honestly wholesome on the app. I wanted to just make jokes, and I've grown to be more comfortable with myself because I realized that like I do things best when I'm doing me, and that goes for everyone else. Just be the best at doing you. You know what I mean?
Here, I'm going to display this question because I really like it. This is from, so Snakeless One is actually Crazy Beard on TikTok. He's one of the co-founders of Social Psychopaths. We have a new YouTube series called Sundays is for the Simps, where we basically get a group of male feminists together to talk about prevalent women and women's issues. And would you like to do one with us?
Yeah, I'll do it sometime.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna school
kind of
y'all on that term, though. I'm gonna school y'all on that term. Just wait. The term simp, because that's jailhouse talk. Not a lot of people know.
All right.
well, because it's kind of like a play off of like
No, I know,
Saturdays are
I'm
for the
being a dick.
boys.
I know I'm being a dick. I know,
let's see here. Do you think this is from Sailor Soviet? Do you think this whole black pill / nihilist trend is a result of despair? Do you think we need to build hope again?
You know what, Sailor Soviet? Absolutely. I don't see how anybody's going to build hope under the current situation we have with our presidency, but absolutely we do. It's important for everybody. Absolutely important. My advice to everyone is stay off the news. The news fearmongers. Take a break.
Do your own like. I would say
to stay on the news though.
Adding on to that, I would probably tweak that a little bit. I would say stay away from television news.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's what I mean. Like television news, you know?
I get all my news from Twitter.
This is also from Crazy Beard, who's the last person who felt the wrath of your glass eye.
You know what, man? The actual wrath of it, when I was like 14, I seen this kid getting bullied in a playground.
No way.
Right? So I chucked it at these kids who were like holding him. I said, get the fuck out of here.
What?
Because it worked. You know what I
No.
mean? It worked.
Could you imagine seeing an eye on the ground?
Could
And
you
you're like,
imagine?
oh my god.
Could you
Honestly,
imagine you're about to fight someone and they just
Well,
pull out
Honestly,
their
I should have
glass?
kept doing that because I love doing crazy shit like that in fights.
Honestly, that'd be
do
like
people like notice that it's a fake eye often, or do you usually have to be like, oh yeah, just take it out and be like, this is not a real eye?
They think it's a lazy eye. They ask me, what's wrong with your eyes? I get in my streams a lot.
imagine just like that'd be such a great scare tactic to be like, yeah, I'm so tough. You just
Yeah.
pull out your eye and be like, oh yeah.
Also, by the way, if anybody has any negative things to say about me, I'd love to see those too. I'm just being real.
God.
Okay.
If anybody disagrees with me in the questions,
Guys, do you disagree with the Stixie?
only if it's on me. I don't know how you guys got it, but yeah.
There's one question about Albert Camus. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know who that
I
is
don't know
either.
who that is either.
Okay, so no.
Everybody-
Anything know about absurdism? That sounds kind of cool. I should read something about it. I'm absurd.
Sounds like
Absurdly-
some philosophy thing. Can't even lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I hate
here.
philosophy.
Oh, let's see.
Someone said they think you should become more left.
Think I should become more left. Yeah, I mean, I'm like on a basis by basis thing in terms of leftism, right? Like, cause like I'm
We can give you some books to read.
Yes, we have a Discord and we have a book club.
Book club, yes.
I'll probably look some more into it. I'm like pretty left in my
Social issues,
don't
I'm
know.
sure.
yeah. Even in my economic issues, I think we need socialism right now. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
My dream, though, is that we live all in this anarchist free state with.
I bet you're probably like Anne Prim then.
And
Little
he's not
bit.
Anne Prim.
Not really though, because
Probably.
I like what we have going on in modern society. I like technology and stuff like that. I do think that wealth corrupts people dead ass.
Oh yeah,
I really
most
think it
definitely.
Mhm. Do you want to? This is from. Will you join our Discord? Do you have Discord as an app?
I do. It's Stixie617. I'm forgetting my tag, but DM me. on
We
Instagram.
will DM you a link. An
And you
invite
can
link
join
to
our
We
Discord.
do a book club every Tuesday where we
Oh
read
yeah.
new leftist
We're
stuff.
currently reading Ingalls.
I'm not even
Uh,
active in my own Discord server. That's why my
Oh,
mods
shit.
get paid, but they might I'll try and show up. Yep.
This is from one of our members, Hungry Rye. How many tattoos do you have? I see one peeping out.
I got like over 30 of these things. A lot
my
of them.
gosh.
Shit. It's like
Yep.
hieroglyphs.
A lot of them have criminal meanings behind them. It's great.
Okay.
So, what was the longest tattoo session you've had for any of them?
So I got a bunch of little filler tattoos. Well, all of them have meaning, but I got a bunch of little filler tattoos on my chest that went for like
Mhm.
I think like 3 hours under the gun or something.
I
like
know
that.
that one probably on your sternum probably killed you.
3 hours.
That one right
under
there
the
was the
gun.
only time it actually really hurt.
Really?
That was the only time I audibly was like, "Oh my god!"
Why?
I've been stabbed before. I don't care about a tattoo. Fucking
I have
tattoo, man.
3 tattoos, but I don't know. Like I actually think tattoos are pretty relaxing. All the ones that I've got, I'm like that. Like I could like fall asleep. It's like a little like
Same.
worst
massage.
Once the
almost.
adrenaline kicks in, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
worst pain I've ever felt is breaking my wrist and getting kicked in the nuts with a soccer ball.
That hurts.
Dude, the soccer ball was so bad.
Yeah, that hurts.
Guys, keep asking questions. Come on.
So
Guys, come on.
What do y'all think about man spreading?
Okay. I am a male feminist. I will not give up man spreading. Okay.
Dude,
I'm gonna say
dude,
this. I man spread all the
Yes.
time. I'll be
We
sitting
need
on the
more
counter,
women
I'm like,
spreading. That's
Yeah.
what I'm
We need-
saying.
we
You
need
know
just
what
spreading.
man-spreading led to? Man-spreading led to laws on New York subways that led to racial profiling. We needed to
Oh.
just support women spreading is what needed to
Dude,
happen.
Pete,
I mean,
people
I'm all
spreading.
for
Just
that.
spreading in general.
Just
Yeah.
like the whole thing's like, well, women feel uncomfortable spreading their legs. Let them fucking
That is
do
not
it,
even
man.
true. I've never like the only
That's what
times like
BuzzFeed said. That's I'm
the
just
only
going by
time
their
like I
campaign.
sit with my legs close together is if I'm like somewhere that I'm not comfortable at. Any other
Okay,
time,
I'm not
if you're
about, like,
comfortable
don't get
somewhere,
me
you're
wrong,
like
I'm not about,
allowed.
like on a I tried to make a joke about straight TikTok. I don't know.
Like,
We don't talk about that here.
don't get me wrong. I'm not like about to do a split.
No.
Like, fuck it. If I want to spread my knees a little bit, I gotta
Dude,
spread my knees a little bit.
If there's no one on the subway, I'm spreading my legs. I don't care if
Even
it's,
if
I
there's
don't
are
know,
people on the
me
subway,
being dominant
fuck
as a
'em.
man. I don't care. Let's let women be dominant too. Let's all be fucking dominant.
Exactly. Here. What male issues do you wish feminists focused on more?
I mean, honestly, male sexual assault, but I feel like a lot of male issues are kind of a myth.
I feel like for me, one thing like
They exist, but-
child custody.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's real, but can we also acknowledge a lot of the deadbeat dads who kind of enforce those stereotypes?
Oh no! I would definitely.
You know what
agree
I
with
mean?
that. I do think there is. I don't like the default of,
the dad doesn't get the custody.
Of
I don't
dad
like
doesn't
that
get
at
to
all. I think
Yeah.
and I also think that it's kind of like, how do I say this?
it's
I'm
patriarchy.
gonna
baby.
sound like a Blue Lives Matter person here, but I don't like how a few bad apples ruin it for everyone.
I do.
Mhm.
I don't like that either. But it really is not a few bad apples, man. Like
That's
there's a
true.
It
lot
is
of
a lot of them.
there's a lot of dads who really don't.
As someone
stick up
who
to
has
their plate.
had a real dad, a stepdad, and a second stepdad, so far I'm only in contact with one of my stepdads. My real dad I didn't talk to for a long time. And my stepdad, he wished me happy birthday and I didn't respond. So that's how that goes.
Here, let's see. Stixie, you're a fellow masshole, right?
Yep.
You guys are the worst drivers. Okay?
Yeah.
You guys are the worst on the road.
I'm missing a night.
Like, on the highway in Massachusetts, you guys are just a bunch of dicks.
Yeah, the thing is like New York drivers, like they'll just kind of cut you off and be a whole prick. Massachusetts, like I was in a car with this guy.
Ka.
I'll call him Tom. I'm not gonna dox his name, but there was this guy. He pressed the pedestrian crossing button, right? He pressed the pedestrian crossing button, which like you just don't do. You just like jaywalk when no cars are going. Rich leans out. Tom, don't forget I said that. Leans out of the car, goes, "You motherfucker! Now everybody's got to wait for the fucking light. I should fucking run you over, you piece of shit. You fucking son of a bitch.
Oh
And
my
I'm like,
god.
Holy
yeah,
shit.
baby. Fucking real gangster shit. That's how we do it, baby.
Get him, Tom.
Big
Jeez,
D's, homie. Yeah.
Oh my god. Here, let's see. Oh, this is from Elisa. I'm for more seating room.
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude.
And you know how we can do that is stop privatizing mass transit and defund the police so that we can put more money into mass transit.
Okay, maybe.
Oh, stop privatizing mass transit.
Okay.
I didn't say stat. No,
I
stop
thought you
it.
said start. I was
It's
like,
the
yeah.
oh boy.
accent.
I was
No,
like, Stixie, no, Stixie.
No,
We
stop
do not-
privatizing things that people need.
So, are you for abolishing the police or defunding the police?
You know what? I'm for defunding the police, but I want people to keep saying abolish the police because I feel like civil
It's good.
disobedience works when the government actually has morals, and the government does not have morals. They've proven that time and time again with their failure to create a police system that's not corrupt. So I feel like people need to honestly get more violent and burn more things down so that they have no choice but to listen.
Scared the
If
shit
I'm
out of
being
me.
real, if I'm being dead ass.
I think like also who was your candidate in the primaries? Like, let's say race started over.
Buttigieg.
All 20,000 candidates are back in the race. Who's your ideal candidate?
If you say
being
gang, we're
honest.
kicking you off the live.
I'm not allowed to vote.
Oh,
Okay, right.
Okay.
If you
I'm not
if,
allowed
you-
But
to
if you
vote.
could have,
if our society was somewhat humane and you were
Yeah.
allowed to vote.
My thing is like I haven't researched the candidates because I'm not allowed to vote. You know what I
Oh.
mean?
that's such a terrible thing
fucking hate
too. The
that.
fact that like criminals and people that live
Yeah.
in prison and stuff like that can't vote.
Here's the
Like this
thing.
stuff still affects you, even
It's
if you
not
can't
because of
vote.
jail time, because I don't have jail time. It's because I was homeless for a bit and there were discrepancies in my address for a while. So they still don't.
That's even
allow me to
worse.
vote.
That's even
That's
worse.
classist.
Yeah.
So they still
No,
don't
that's-
allow me to vote.
that's- Okay,
Here I
that's
am, like
ridiculous.
I run a business. I am somewhat.
That's
I don't have a
horrible.
college degree, but I'm somewhat informed.
exactly.
That's
And
a horrible
somewhat,
thing.
somewhat, you're very informed, but
You're
also like,
more informed than the average person, I would say.
but also like, that's first of all, I retract
That's
what I said.
even
earlier.
worse.
I retract what I said earlier. It's not even worse. I think they're both classist
I
in
mean,
their
yeah.
own ways. But also, just it's so fucked that like, it's such an obvious thing. Like, oh, we're not saying if you're homeless you can't vote, but we're going to give you a whole bunch of loopholes and red tape in your address discrepancy. So if you do end up homeless, but then you move into somewhere else, you'll have a pretty fucking hard time voting.
Exactly.
Which is
Yeah.
that's so horrible.
The
that they-
whole yeah, it's just there's so many like barriers they make to keep people from voting. It's a real thing. It's a real
One
thing.
Also,
thing I
isn't-
don't
Yeah,
get,
go
like,
ahead.
at least like with prisoners and stuff like that, is I feel like they probably vote mostly Republicans. So the Republicans would probably benefit
They would.
from
They wouldn't need to
having prisoners
gerrymander
vote.
if they just let criminals
At
vote.
least
Yeah.
at least like a lot of white folks in prison, they
yeah.
would, you know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I think
Where do you think most people become racist?
oh
Just being real. For survival techniques, because like in there,
mhm.
it's like I've done my little stints in like, fucking like my little tiny stints and like I never gone to prison. But like in jail, it's like you don't have friends who are like a different race than you for the most part.
Mhm.
You don't have friends like that. You know what I mean? That's
Mhm.
like, it's just the reality. And it's not something that like a lot of people like. It's just the way it is. And then people get out and they're kind of cool with each other, but there's always this weird sort of thing because you all used to hate each other. You know what I mean? And it's something people don't like talking about because it freaks them out.
I think it's also weird with criminals not being able to vote. It's like the original. We can't imagine life without prison, right?
Oh my God.
The original penitentiary model where the crime, the punishment is just going to jail. That was an American invention. That the first prison like penitentiary was created in Pennsylvania. So it's like, and the whole point of it was to create a more humane system so that because of how it used to be is you would sit in jail until you got like flogged and flayed alive.
Yeah.
But so
Yep.
prison reformers were like, okay, let's just send people to prison and literally just have them sit there and work there. And the whole point was it's more humane. It allows people to grow and recover. But like, how are you supposed to grow and recover if you can't participate in
It's
basic
because the
societal
reason
life?
why they like prisons is because Victoria's Secret and Sears were getting a lot of their
Oh,
clothing
yeah.
made by prison labor for years.
It's
It's a
like-
capitalist agenda.
It's literally, because literally, like, it's literally legal slavery in the United States is what the prison system
Well,
is.
that's what the 13th Amendment was meant to be.
Yeah, that's what it exactly is, because like every big corporation, Target, Starbucks, they all use prison labor for all of their stuff. Like, you can literally like look it up. It's public information.
It's unreal.
It is ridiculous, and it's like
And-
that's how they keep costs low, is because they literally have slaves more than just
And-
their regular wage slaves too. They're literal
Quite literal
people.
slaves.
Yeah, that like they pay 20 pennies a day to make a whole set and stuff like that. I mean, they even made like an Orange is the New Black episode talking about like Victoria's Secret with the wage thing. And it's like, you make this $50, $60 garment and you get paid 60 cents that day. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
And it's also crazy that, like, from a historical perspective, when a slave committed a crime, they wouldn't send them to prison because in their minds, that's not punishment, because that's just taking them from one slave condition to another.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even some historical accounts show that, like, after the Civil War and the 13th Amendment, like, some historical accounts say that, like, the conditions working on the railroad for, like, prison labor was worse than slavery.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Wow.
for
Do you know how
on
many people died
plantations.
working on the railroad?
Unreal.
Mhm.
And there's a nursery rhyme about it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
All right, Stixie, I think now would be a good time to kind of wrap this up. Is there anything else you would like to add on to this conversation?
Do you have any questions for us?
I have questions that would lead into a very long conversation. So I
Well,
wanna stick away
okay,
from-
we'll end the broadcast now. I'll hang on a second before you leave the stream. Guys, thank you all for watching. Good night.